Hi everyone. Hope you're having a good day, and I want to talk today about self-esteem and self-worth, self-confidence. This is going to be a very kind of some of the things that I've learned over time. Subject self-esteem could take hours to talk about, and let me know if you want to talk more about self-esteem, and I can share with you more things. I've learned a lot, and I don't want to overwhelm you with everything that I've learned, but I've just come up with a few tips on how to raise your self-esteem. I'd like to start by saying that I'm not a doctor, not a professional, not here to tell you what to do, how to run your life. I just want to share with you how I cope, and hope that it can help you. And if you have anything that you guys have done that I don't ever mention, or you haven't heard me talk about yet, don't be afraid to share with me, and I can try them and let you know how it helps me. I found self-esteem is one of the things that is damaged, among other things, when you're depressed. And I'm not gonna go over, how it comes up, where you feel good about yourself one day and then the next day you don't. But I think I used to have high self-esteem when I was a kid, and I remember feeling like when I was much younger, I remember feeling like I was always happiest when I was living in the moment. Um, Kids always seem to live in the moment. If you watch them, they tend to live in the moment, and it seems like it's what makes them happiest is when they're just thinking, what am I doing here and now? And I've found that trying to savor good moments and living in the moment helps you feel better about yourself. Also, dressing up. That sounds cheesy, but dressing up, just wearing a cute outfit, trying to make yourself look more presentable, more well groomed, helps you a little with your self esteem. If you look good, you're gonna feel good. Exercise is my favorite thing to help me deal with the battle of self esteem, low self esteem. Um, And a note on trying to don't feel like you have to break the bank to have high self-esteem. Just be creative. Um, Find something that you're good at. Give yourself an inventory, a test, and if you've been depressed for a long time, think back to a time when you weren't depressed. Um, what were you doing most of the time? You've probably lost interest in things that once used to interest you, or you don't really care about much anymore. Think of a time when you were least depressed, and what did you like to do? And try to start doing that again, or give yourself a test on find out what you're good at. If you would have told me a year ago that I'd write as a hobby, I would have told you I don't know anything about writing, but it always seems to hide in things that you do every day that you take for granted. I English is my second language, so I wasn't exactly the best at writing and schoolwork. Um, and I practiced writing, because I had to, and I didn't know that one day I was going to be writing not for a grade, but for fun. So I would have all these little daydreams in my head, stories that I'd come up with to help me cope. I was using the stories to help me cope with my negative self-talk and negative thoughts and compulsive thoughts and all the negative feelings. So I would dream up, stories in my head, and I'm not gonna, write these things down. I would just conjure them up when I needed them. And then I thought, all of a sudden, I thought, hey, why don't I write these stories down? And then, the negative thoughts came in and the fear. What do you know about writing? You know, you said you were going to be a good writer. So I thought, well, nobody has to read this. This is for me. So I started to write down my stories. And he started off in my head as daydream is the way to cope. So I started writing. So the hard thing I found now is finishing a story. It's not so much writing it, it's just finishing it. So now I have to figure out how to finish the stories. And I think now I have the opposite of writer's block. I have so many ideas, I just don't know how to write them down. I don't know how to execute my ideas. So, because I've had so many stories in my head for like years now. And now I have to figure out how to write them down. So, I have like 10 incomplete stories. They're written, they're just not finished. And then some days it's hard to get motivated to write them, but I try to work on them because they help me cope. So I need to, know that writing can be a skill that I could have and develop. And I've been writing, but it was always for school. I didn't think I could actually write and it'd be fun. And when you think about it, you'll be surprised how many things are fun that other people find to be just obligatory. Like, I think doing laundry is fun because it is. I don't know. It's just these little things that other people think of as a burden that I find fun because it helps me cope. So, I'm not saying you have to write, but find out a skill that you developed that you're good enough at to do on days where you really need to pick me up. So to help your self-esteem. So let's see, I said treat yourself, pamper yourself, dress up a little, give yourself a mini fashion show, take a camera, take a picture of yourself, wear some makeup, and just don't spend like tons of money on products and stuff you can't afford. But if you can afford a little lipstick and a little makeup, just wear some. I am not a makeup girl. I do not much play around with beauty, but I found that just getting dressed up before you go out or putting forth some effort in grooming, over grooming, I guess. Even if you go to the grocery store, somewhere where you don't expect to get dressed up for, it can make you feel better. And people may stop you and compliment you, and then that'll make you feel better, and then it'll just keep going up. So, don't have too high expectations. Just play around. And it sounds so simple that it isn't. It's almost isn't worth trying. If you think, what is wearing a cute outfit gonna do? Well, it's like I said, with depression, it's the little things. These little steps that other people take for granted. Just chalk yourself into doing something you wouldn't normally do, and that might help your confidence. And play around with some things, some different looks. After you spring clean, sometimes you get rid of all your old stuff. You might have to buy or go out and get more new things to replace some of the old things, and make sure those are things that make you feel good, whether it's particular perfume smell that makes you feel better. I will smell something. I'll go and get like a fragrance that I have. When I feel lousy, I will literally just smell it. And it may seem like nothing, and it helps me because it's all these little things. And I'll just savor it and be like, okay. If it's a color that you like, go and buy things and accumulate things that have that color, remind you of that color. You can look at it when you're sad and just savor the feeling. It may be just one moment out of whole 24 hours, but all these little moments add up. what did I say? Yeah, and just find a skill, something you're good at, and practice it. And it doesn't have to be something that you're really good at. Just something you used to do that you sort of let go, that you kind of took for granted and didn't want to think about it anymore. Um, and and then try and do something completely different, like something that you never thought you could do. Like if you would have told me, like I said, a year ago, that I'd be writing stories. I don't know anything about writing, but you've done it your whole life. You've been in school and you've been writing, because they make you write, and if you work, you write a lot, don't you? So you have to work on your communication skills when you go to school, when you work, and part of communicating is writing well. So you know how to write. Um, and make writing a journal. That helps a lot. I know it sounds cheesy, but it really does help. Or write stories. Anything that you daydream about, you probably daydream. People daydream. Everybody daydreams, right? And what if your daydreams could be stories? I did this thing once while I had a dream. And it was a really lucid dream, so I remembered it when I woke up. I wrote it as a story. I literally wrote the dream out like a story because I thought it was cute. So I wrote it as a story. Um, if you want to read the story, I'll put a link down so you can see it. But it was inspired by a dream. So you don't have to be a professional writer, or a professional anything. Just find something that you can do well enough so when you do it, it'll make you feel good inside and it'll make you feel good about yourself. If you have more tips on how you raise your self-esteem, or what helps you with your self-esteem issues, let me know. I welcome any new suggestions that you guys have tried that I haven't talked about, because I can't talk about everything. Self-esteem is a pretty big subject, so this is a little bit to jump off of. I'm still working on my own every day, and it's like a muscle. You just have to keep working on it, and so it gets stronger. Self-esteem is a hard thing to develop, so once it's been shattered, so let me know what you guys have come up with that you do, and I'm praying for you, and I hope you do well on your journey of coping with depression. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.